Hey guys, Tara here, and today is my first TBR of 2021, and I am super excited. So this month we are bringing back the TBR wheels, and I have several of them that we are going to spin. So the first one we are going to spin is my 21 in 2021, and we're going to spin that 2 times because I need to read around 2 a month in order to hit all 21 this year. So let's go ahead and do spin number 1. Okay, so for spin number 1, we got the Midford Bedside Companion by Jan Karon. And this is a book that accompanies the Midford series by Jan Karon, which is one of my favorite series of all time. I've read all of the books in the series, but wanted to put some space between reading the last one and reading this, because this goes over like some of the best ofs from the series. So I've been away from this series for a while now, and I'm really excited to go back. So here is number 1 in our wheels for 2021. All right, spin number 2. Actually, before we do spin number 2, one more thing. So I am doing a couple of reading challenges this year, and one of those reading challenges is through the Intentional Reader. I cannot think of what her first name is, but I'll link her down below. And she has a unread shelves, unread TBR challenge that she does, and I'm going to participate in that this year. And so for the month of January, it needs to have a home-ish word in the title. And so with this one, we've got Bedside. And so that is going to hit for that challenge in addition to my 2021 challenge. Okay, now spin number 2. Okay, for spin number 2, we got The Secret of the Old Clock. This is book number 1 in the Nancy Drew series by Carolyn Keene. And I actually just discovered that Carolyn Keene is not one person. Carolyn Keene, the Nancy Drew series, I believe the Hardy Boy series as well, was all written under the pseudonym of Carolyn Keene, but written by a ton of different authors throughout the series. So I thought that was interesting. I had not been aware of that. So did not read these whenever I was younger. Bought this with the intent of my daughter reading it, and my daughter is not a lover of reading at this point, so she's just not on her radar. But I decided I should go back and give these a shot. So, all right, this is number 2 for 20 and 21. All right, spin number 3. We are going to move on to my 5-star prediction wheel. So I made 12 5-star predictions for this year, and we're going to spin the wheel each month and see what book I'm going to try out. And then at the end of the year, I'll do a wrap-up of those 5-star predictions and decide which ones let you guys know which ones I was correct on. So let's go ahead and do our 3rd spin of 2021 on our 5-star prediction wheel. Okay, for our next one, we got From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the first in a series. I've only heard amazing things about this book, including it being just spoken of very, very highly by J.R. Ward, who is one of my absolute favorite authors. And so I've really been excited for this, because the last book that she really endorsed was the Charlie Davidson series, which was ended up being one of my all-time favorite series ever, including having my literary BFF. So I'm hoping that this one is just as wonderful as the Charlie Davidson series, And so we shall see. All right, for spin number 4, we are going to spin my series wheel. So this wheel has all the series that I am in the middle of on it, and this will help me hopefully finish out some series. So, all right, let's see what we get. All right, so for this, we are going to be continuing in the Chronicle of the Brothers series, and that is A Pale Horse. This is by Wendy Alec, and this is an end time series, so it's all about Armageddon, the Antichrist, and it's been very good so far. I really, really loved the first 2 books in the series. The last one was just like, so for me. So I'm hoping that this one is better than the last one that I read. But we'll see. After this, there's only one more left. So making progress. Okay, now I have decided that I want to make sure that I am reading the new books that I buy. Because of course I'm buying them because I'm excited. So for 2020, I went through and I made a list in my reading journal of all the books that I purchased in 2020 or that came into my life in 2020 that I have not read up till this point. There are a total of 143 of those. Each of those has been assigned a number. And so we are going to do a random number generator to determine which book I'm going to read that was purchased in 2020 that is still on the TBR shelf. All right, so that number corresponds to Fire Cannot Kill a Dragon by James Hibbard. This is a very recent purchase for me, and it is stories from the making of Game of Thrones. The unofficial untold story of the epic series. And I'm really psyched about this. I love Game of Thrones. I miss it so much. I just bought my husband for his birthday. He got the entire Blu-ray 33 disc set. I just did my second read through of Game of Thrones. The first one, I read the illustrated edition, and just as good as the first read around. And so I'm like just craving this world again. So I'm really excited about this. And this is also going to hit on another of the reading challenges I'm doing for this year is it's the Unread Shelf project, and I will link her down below as well. And there are several ways that you can do this one, and for me, I'm doing the one that is each month she has a prompt. And so January's prompt is a book with high expectations, and this is the book that I am going to read for that prompt. I was initially going to do my 5-star prediction because that makes sense, but I decided to do this one instead. So anyway. Okay, now we're going to move into my just general TBR prompt wheel. And we're going to spin that one 4 times and see what we get. All right, so spin number 1 of the TBR prompt wheel. Okay, so prompt number 1 is sci-fi. And for that, another newbie. This was a gift from my husband, and I wanted this so bad. So this is The Empire Strikes Back from a certain point of view. And I read the first one last year, and it is just the most fun book. So it takes the popular Star Wars movie and tells the same scenes that we have seen, but from a very uncommon point of view within that scene. And it was so much fun. And I mean, like, my husband and I, we watched The Empire, number one. What's number one? Oh, I'm such a bad Star Wars fan. I can't remember. I cannot remember if the first movie is Return of the Jedi or A New Hope. I think it's A New Hope. I could be totally wrong. Anyway, we rewatched the first movie, and the whole time we're sitting there, I'm telling my husband, oh, I read this one from this point of view, and you know what this person was thinking in this scene? And it was just, it has made me see Star Wars totally different. So, I love The Empire Strikes Back, possibly my favorite in the series. And so I'm really, really excited to read this one. So, that's the first one for my TBR wheel prompts. All right, let's do spin number 2 from the TBR wheel prompts. All right, the prompt for this one was Christian nonfiction. And for this, we are going to do Life Stories by Mark Hall. And this is the story behind the lyrics for the group Casting Crowns. Yeah, so I've had this one on my shelf for quite some time, and I'm really big into like what is the story behind the lyrics? I have several books like this, and yeah, I've read one from here so far a while back, like right after I first bought it, and it was very interesting. Made me look at the song totally different every time I hear it. So I'm looking forward to that being the case for all of these. Spin number 3 from the TBR wheel prompts. All right, so our prompt is a mystery or thriller, and for that, we're going to do The Wife by Alifair Burke, maybe is how you pronounce it. I wanted to read this one this month anyway, so this works out perfect. This was lent to me by my friend Jackie, and she thinks I'm going to like it a lot. And this is, let me think back to how she explained this to me. I'm pretty sure that she told me this is a book about a woman who had been abducted when she was younger, and she marries a man living a very happy life, and then he is accused of abducting a young girl or a teenager or something like that. And it's told from multiple perspectives, I believe she told me, and it just sounds right up my alley. And so we shall see. Very interested in this one though, because Jackie and I have very similar reading tastes, so I trust her. All right, our last spin of the TBR prompt wheel. Okay, for this one we got first in the series, and we're going to do How to Train Your Dragon by Cressida Cowell. I did read book 1 from her Wizards of Once series. Didn't love it. I ended up DNFing the second book in the series. I love, love, love the movie How to Train Your Dragon though. So I want to give this one a shot. And I guess this will tell me whether or not I need to break up with Cressida Cowell. So we'll see. Okay, so those are all of my wheels. I have 3 more books that I want to read this month, because I've decided I'm going to do 12 books a month is what's going to be on my TBR, because that sometimes I read a little bit more than that, but 12 is a pretty good spot for me. So I'm also participating in the Buzzword Readathon, which is created by Kayla over at Books and Lala. I'll link her down below. She's no longer running it as a readathon though. This is now going to be through Goodreads, and she's going to have limited participation from what I could tell from her video. But so she's given monthly prompts, 6 words, and then 6 themes, depending on the month. So for January, the word is dream. So I did a search on my Goodreads, unread TBR, and just put in the word dream. And went with this one that came up, which is Dream It, Do It by Marty Sklar. And he is what are they called? Imagineers? He was one of Disney's Imagineers, and he was like one of the ones that actually worked with Walt Disney. It says, my half-century creating Disney's Magic Kingdoms. Disney legend and Imagineering ambassador. So I'm really big into like Disney, any kind of books about Disney background, Walt Disney, any of that stuff. I love it. This one's been on the shelf since, I believe I actually purchased this one when we went to Walt Disney World, which was, oh my goodness. I want to say my daughter was like 4 and she's 11 now. So I've had it on the shelf for a while. So we're going to do this. This is our dream buzzword. Then I am going to read Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey, just because I have wanted this so bad and waited so patiently and finally got it as a Christmas gift from my husband. And oh, I want to dive in. So this one's getting read just because. And then the last one for this month that's like a full read is Krista over at Books and Jams. She just created a Patreon, in which I am a Patreon member. And so as part of the benefit for that, we get to participate in a book club with her. And the book that we're doing this month is The Tenderland by William Kent Kruger. She just announced this today, so I do not have the physical copy yet. I'm going to go ahead and purchase it today. I was not real familiar with this book, briefly read the description, and it's about a boy who's in an orphanage, and then they run away from the orphanage. There's a crime committed. Those are like the key pieces I remember from it. It had not been on my radar, but this is my reason for doing book clubs, is expanding my horizons and picking up books that I would not normally pick up. And I had joined the book club several years ago. I want to say my daughter was around 3 whenever I joined my book club. And the whole purpose was I really needed to expand because I was like stuck in a historical fiction rut. And I say in a rut because I had like my favorite authors. I have read everything they had out. They weren't really coming out with anything more. And so I really needed to find new things to read. And by joining a book club, I really just broadened my horizons so much. And now I read pretty much every genre. I really can't think of a genre I dislike. I like fiction. I like nonfiction. I like it all. So I'm excited to be a part of Krista's book club moving forward. All right, so that's my last one. I have 2 other books that are not going to be read this month, but that are throughout the year. And so this month I am starting my read through of the, Candace Cameron Bure's Christian Standard Bible edition. And it's called the Encourage Devotional Bible. My mom got this for me as a gift last year for my birthday. And so this is what we're reading through this year, because I always read through the Bible. Different versions. I want to read all of them. All the different translations, all the different study Bibles. I need to know them all. Okay, and then I'm doing a devotional this year, and it is going to be book 2 of Voices of the Faithful, inspiring stories of courage from Christians serving around the world. So I'll be reading one of these each day also. Okay, that is the TBR for this month. If I get through my 12 books that are on my TBR, my plan is to read book 2 in the Game of Thrones, which is, which one's book 2? A Clash of Kings. Like I said, I finished Game of Thrones, which is book 1. Clash of Kings is book 2, and I have the beautiful illustrated versions that they're putting out. So any time I have left in the month is going to be dedicated to reading that. And if I don't have time by the end of the month, I won't be reading them. So anyway. All right, that is my TBR for the first month of 2021. What are you guys reading? Have you read any of these? What are your thoughts? I would love to know. Let's talk down in the comments. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.